Ooh, Eris is on the stand. Interesting.
Hello, your lordship. I think this is the first time we've met. You're a lot smaller than I expected.
Who is this woman? Why have they brought a civilian before the Scaled Lord? People of the court, thank you for your patience. Until now, we've known this woman as Eris Ilmater. And ever since the massacre, we've been trying to determine who orchestrated this. We only knew that Arya Steelwind signed a blood contract with a demon called the Empress of Discord. We still knew very little about this demon. We had no idea who they were or what they even looked like. But we know the truth now. People of the Wyvern nobility, the woman on the witness stand isn't a civilian. She is the demon known as the Empress of Discord. I have no idea how, but her form is that of a human. Using this disguise, she entered the Grand Cathedral, posing as Beatrice Frega's guide. She then aided the patron by using Beatrice Frega to help Arya Steelwind massacre members of the nobility.
Objection!
Why are we continuing with this? She's already admitted to taking part in the massacre. Let's force her to tell us who the patron is and be done with this.
How typical. The Grand General thinks you can solve all his problems with violence. But let me ask you this. Why are you assuming that the patron is a human?
What?
In Arya's contract, it says that the patron is the individual who gives the contract to her. How do you know that I am not that individual? I go by many names. The Empress of Discord is only one of them.
If what you're saying is true, that makes this a simpler matter. We simply need to execute you for your crimes against the kingdom.
Haven't you forgotten what my underling said during Frega's trial? As a demon, I can never truly die. If you destroy my body, I'll simply reform in the abyssal hells. I wonder, what might happen to your daughter if you were to draw my ire?
Eh?
You're prosecuting her and playing the villain. But I know the truth. You secretly care about her, don't you?
What nonsense are you spouting?
When you thought she had mage blood, you had to prosecute her. You held on to the little hope that you could convict her and convince her to take a plea deal. As the king's wife, her position might have been salvageable. And you did all this all so she could be with her beloved Asta.
What?
Aye.
But then it was revealed that she signed a blood contract with me. That changed everything. Mage blight is one thing, but a demon owning her soul? She can't very well be a queen like this now, can she? You had to find out who the patron was before her trial ended, didn't you, Lucia? Otherwise your beloved daughter would never be free. And you did all of this because you feel bad for what you did to her.
Everything I've done is for the good of House Steelwind.
Is that what you were doing? Because the way I see it, you abandoned her for her entire childhood. You felt so guilty about killing her mother that you couldn't bear to face her.
No. Nay,
Eris, stop this.
And you know what that did to her. You didn't just take away her mother, you took away her father too. You starved her of any affection. She couldn't help but latch on to the first person to show her any kind of superficial kindness.
Eris?
She didn't fall in love with Asta. She became obsessed with him. She stopped being her own person and she clings to him like a parasite. She changed everything about herself to suit his likes and desires. And you know deep down in your heart, you know that if he is ever taken away from her, she will fall apart. Since I pity you so much, I'll let you in on a little secret. Killing me won't save your daughter, and you don't have the means to confine me. And even if you know who I am, your daughter will never be safe from my influence.
what?
But I suppose there's one possible way to break my contract.
What? What is it?
My contract will bind Arya Steelwind to the patron so long as they both live. If you truly want to free your daughter from my control, all you have to do is kill her. Do the poor thing a favor and put her out of her misery.
You little wretch! I will hunt you until the end of...
Enough. Lucio, we cannot antagonize her if we want to find out how this happened.
Is she right? Is Arya's fate truly doomed? There has to be something you can do. I just don't understand, Eris. Why are you doing this? You're not a noble. You're probably not even a citizen of Wivengard. Why would you go through the trouble of doing any of this?
Tyrion, why are you here?
What?
Why do you constantly risk your life for the sake of others? Why do you try to seek justice in a clearly unjust world?
I don't know, honestly.
I think you do know. The answer is simple. You do it because it satisfies you. You save people. You fight the system. You just love indulging your own heroics, don't you? That's not...
It feels good, doesn't it, Tyrion?
You know that you're the only righteous person in an unjust society. When you succeed, you're hailed as a hero. And if you fail, it's society's fault, not yours. No matter what happens, you can take solace in the knowledge that you're so much better than everyone else. That superiority you feel over them must be intoxicating. Your divine blood makes it so.
You just can't resist giving into it.
But just as your divine blood compels you to do good, my hellish blood compels me to do the opposite.
I just can't help but take every opportunity to make you all suffer.
My entire purpose is to see each and every one of their faces contorted in agony and despair. Humanity is a stain on the world. They're worthless parasites who steal, maim, and kill to get what they want. That's all they are. And I despise those who try to pretend that they're anything different.
You're wrong, Eris. Humanity is so much more than you realize. And I truly pity you if that's all you see in us.
Oh, so now it's us. Well, that actually just reminded me there's something I hate even more than humanity.
I despise the Celestials of the upper planes who go against the natural order.
They condemn and admonish beings like me, all while watching humanity suffer from their secluded little heaven. They realized that humanity would never willingly choose good over evil, so they created the Heavenspawn to tip the balance in their favor. It's so self-indulgent that it makes me want to puke.
That's what the Heavenspawn are?
It is, and I've made quite a hobby out of breaking them and sending them back to their creators. I throw them into the deepest pit of despair before extinguishing their lives. There's been no greater joy in my eternal life. And it took a lot of work to get you right where I need you, Tyrion.
Wait, are you saying...
You asked me why I did this, didn't you? My actions that day were all for you, my dearest Tyrion. Also, I can see the despair on your face when you realize the truth.
Tyrion? No.
Objection!
That's enough out of you, you witch.
Lucio?
Cuthbert, you promised me that we would save my daughter together.
I'm sorry.
You said those words to me with such conviction. Yet here you stand, quivering like a grunt in his first battle. Are a few meagre doubts enough to force a retreat from you? Is that all it takes to defeat the infamous Tyrion Cuthbert?
He's probably desperate at this point. If Eris is the patron, there's very little hope for Arya. Unlike Beatrice, her blood contract was short and concise. There's very little room for interpretation, so you probably can't dispute it either. But what kind of attorney would you be? No. What kind of friend would you be if you didn't see this through? Eris, we didn't call you here today to wax poetic with you. The people you've harmed have a right to know what you did that day. So either give us your testimony or get out.
Even now you're still undeterred. I really do love that about you. But I do wonder how long that will last. It's true, I was the one who masterminded this. I knew about the king's funeral at the Grand Cathedral, so I forced Beatrice Frege to allow me to accompany her. When I was there, I used my contracts with Beatrice Frege and Arya Steelwind to compel them to act against their will. And through the actions of Beatrice Frege and Arya Steelwind, I facilitated the deaths of Lloyd von Sanctus, Coraline Sybil, and Garrick Pierce. The only motivation for my actions that day was to harm Tyrion Cuthbert's friends and make him suffer. And before you ask, aside from my thralls, I was acting alone that day. I didn't follow direct or indirect orders from anyone.
Why does she specify that? Your testimony is pretty thorough.
Of course, I am a demon after all. Since I'm unable to lie, I thought it would be best to be as detailed as possible. That way, there's no room for doubt. Isn't that wonderful, Tyrion?
She's definitely playing with you. She may not have technically lied, but she's definitely not acting in good faith. You should look at her testimony more closely. Alright, I want to have another read of her final statement. Bum, 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 bum. Aside from my thralls, I was acting alone that day. I didn't follow direct or indirect orders from anyone. There's got to be something suspect there, I think, but let's work through these. So you completely carried out this plan yourself.
Well, I clearly had the help of Beatrice Frege and Arya Steelwind, so I wasn't truly acting alone.
You know what I meant.
Yes, I just can't help myself sometimes. To state things plainly, no human willingly helped me with my plan that day.
You know that she can't lie, but she's probably had a lot of practice deceiving people. You should keep your wits about you. How did you find out about it? It was supposed to be a closely guarded secret.
Oh, Tyrion, I can't tell you all my secrets now, can I?
You can't exactly threaten to charge her with perjury. It's a surprise that she's even testifying in the first place. Until you can extract all of the information she has, you'll just have to play along with her games. What a terrifying ability.
Thank you for noticing.
That wasn't a compliment. I find it quite sickening how you demons prey on people.
Prey? People know what they're signing up for when they sign a contract with a demon. You can hardly blame me for collecting what was freely offered.
Please, we both know that Arya didn't knowingly or willingly sign that contract.
Aren't you just assuming that?
What?
How do you know that she didn't knowingly sign a contract with me?
My client would never willingly sign a contract with you, Eris.
Really? What if I were to threaten her dearest fiancé? You may see Arya as a paragon of justice, but everyone has their breaking point.
If that's true, tell us under what circumstances Arya signed the contract. You knew it. She's just trying to get inside your head. Arya would have never signed a contract like that, even if it were to protect Asta. Why are you using their full names?
You know I can't lie, so I thought I'd give you something. For example, I could have easily referred to another Steelwind, or another Frege that I enthralled. That list is very long, you know.
Ignore her, Lucio. She's trying to get under your skin. Anyway, aside from Pierce, von Sanctus and Sybil were key members of the Wyvern nobility. What reason could you possibly have to kill the three of them?
I didn't.
What?
I didn't have a reason to kill them. I just happened to facilitate their deaths.
No, but you specifically went after them.
I did, but I didn't have any particular reason to do so.
That doesn't make any sense.
I suppose it doesn't. Anyway, would you like for me to add that to my testimony?
What?
It would help you, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I suppose so. She has got to be the most unpredictable witness you've ever cross-examined. We already established that Pierce was killed due to his knowledge of Celeste's parentage. How could you possibly have no motivation to see them dead?
Aren't you just assuming that?
I'm not. That's the only logical conclusion.
And that's where you made your mistake. You're assuming that I act logically.
You're a bit out of your element right now. Every murder you've investigated has always followed some kind of logic that you could use to make deductions. But Eris is a different beast entirely. For all you know, she could be completely insane. You might very well be seeing connections that aren't there.
Is something wrong, Tyrion? I went all this trouble to get your attention. The least you could do is appreciate it.
Objection!
Enough. Stay on the subject, witness.
I'm not complaining about this, but if you really wanted to make me suffer, why wouldn't you just go after the people close to me?
Oh, but what would be the fun in that? Killing people is such an easy task to accomplish. Even a child can do it. There are much more effective ways to make someone suffer.
Why did you find the need to specify that?
To leave less room for doubt. Beatrice used an indirect order to feign innocence in your previous trial, didn't she?
But did you work together with anyone to facilitate the massacre?
Of course I did. I worked together with Beatrice Frege and Arya Steelwind.
Ugh, you know what I meant, Eris.
My apologies. I just can't help myself sometimes. I'll say it clearly so you can be certain. I did not have a contract with anyone that wanted to facilitate any of those murders. I was acting of my own free will.
Even when she says it directly, you can't help but doubt everything she says. You'll just need to examine her testimony carefully. She technically can't lie, but she's clearly hidden something in her testimony. Instead of examining the wording of her statements, focus on what she's clearly trying to imply with each statement. You might be able to find a contradiction there. God. Okay, but let's have a look at our evidence first of all and see if there's anything here that might counter any of that. Is this to do with, distracting him?
Objection!
I guess not. Alright, okay. I think what else we could point to... Quickly and efficiently, so there was... His death wasn't quick or efficient.
Objection!
I think there's something there. Yeah. Okay, so it didn't read them specifically. Kill victims as quickly as well. Okay, so she could have, but didn't kill this dude.
Objection!
Ugh. She was... No, I mean, that proves she was touched.
Objection!
I mean, she is targeting certain people. How can I... I'm sure that's... Let's think about this. Yeah, this wasn't quick or efficient.
Objection!
Ah!
Objection!
Didn't harm Celeste, no. I think all this is contradictory, but it's obviously not what the game wants me to say. So Beatrice didn't have this mark, did she? Is there anything in that?
Objection!
No. Okay. Let's keep going. Anything about Arya's contract?
Objection!
Nope. Well, I think I found some good contradictory stuff, but she's not going for it. To do with trapping the prince? That wasn't particularly quick or efficient.
Objection!
No. Harm my friends. So what about... Because she didn't harm Asta. Is that...
Objection!
No. I need a bit more of a clue here, I think. Okay, I'm going to pause here, I think. Well, I'm going to comb through each of these bits of evidence bit by bit and just see if I can spot it. Hang on. Okay, I don't know it to be the case, but I keep coming back to this as quickly and efficiently as possible. And if you actually do look at this one, Tyrion is obviously raising questions. Why would the murderer do this when they had more lethal spells at their disposal? So this does contradict it. I'm going to assume it's this. Hopefully it is.
Objection!
Hey! Eris, you said that you needed Arya to kill them as quickly and efficiently as possible. But that's not exactly what happened, is it?
Yes, it appeared as I underestimated your little bodyguard. Things lasted a lot longer than I anticipated.
That's not what I was referring to.
Oh?
You said that you needed Arya to kill them as efficiently as possible. That doesn't really match with what happened to Garrick Pierce, does it?
Is that so?
The look on her face, why does she look so happy? Eris, unlike the murders of Von Sanctus and Sybil, Pierce was murdered with a blade, frozen with magic. It's such an extremely convoluted way to kill someone, it would only make sense if you were trying to hide the evidence. That clearly wasn't your intent.
I agree. So why would I do that?
For the love of God, woman, will you stop speaking in riddles?
I have no love for any god aside from myself.
She's behaving differently than she was during her testimony. She's being vague. Is she still hiding something? Okay, stop getting baited by her words and take a moment to think about this logically. She's very good at misdirecting you and playing with everyone's emotions. So stick to the facts that you know for certain. In her testimony, she said the following.
I didn't really have a reason to kill them specifically. I just needed Arya to kill my victims as quickly and efficiently as possible.
She could have been trying to mislead you. No, considering who she is, she was definitely trying to mislead you. To kill my victims? She said her victims instead of the victims. It's a small distinction, but a distinction nonetheless. And you recall Marinath using a similar trick during Beatrice's trial. Which can only mean the victims of this case aren't the same as her victims. Eris, which of the people in this case were your victims?
Well, considering what happened, you could say that everyone at the cathedral that day was my victim.
Yes, but who was killed directly by Beatrice Frigga or Arya Steelwind? I knew it. You're hiding something, aren't you?
If that's what you think, it's definitely possible.
Ugh, again with the vague answers. Why would she even agree to testify in the first place? There's nothing any of you can threaten her with, and nothing you can do permanently to permanently harm her. She could have easily gone into hiding. She never had to come here, which means she wanted to come here. But why? Just tell me, Eris, who killed Lloyd von Sanctus?
Arya Steelwind.
And who killed Coraline Sybil?
Arya Steelwind.
And who killed Garrick Pierce? Why are you staying silent?
Out with it, demon. Who killed Garrick Pierce?
I refuse to answer.
She's doing this on purpose. In her own obnoxious way, she's trying to guide you to the truth. But for what purpose? If she's refusing to answer the question, that must mean the answer is different from her previous answers. An unknown person? An unknown person killed Garrick Pierce. That must mean... Eris, you're not the patron described in Arya's contract, are you?
Who knows? I never confirmed or denied that.
Are you serious?
I grow sick of your games, demon.
You knew it. The murders were too politically motivated to have been completely random. You can unequivocally prove the patron's identity by issuing a divine edict. But because of the risk of getting it wrong, that just leaves you right where you started. Who is the patron, Eris? Who is responsible for all of this? You want me to find out the truth, so why are you staying silent?
Because it will be so much better when you discover it yourself.
It means you already have the evidence you need to do so.
You felt it, haven't you? Ever since the investigation started, you felt a nagging feeling in the back of your mind, haven't you?
What? How did you?
It's right in front of you, Tyrion. You're just refusing to see it. You're refusing to see who I made a contract with that day.
You made your contract with the patron on that day?
Even with the eye of a god, you're still blinded by your human sentimentality. So think it through carefully. Who killed Garrick Pierce that day?
Okay, think through this. Let everything else disappear from the world and only think of the facts. I think it's the priest. If Eris wasn't the patron, that means someone else was controlling Arya's actions. Now remember, Arya immediately fell under control after her meeting with the High Whatsit. And we know that he was there when she killed Coraline, and that he made his way to the prayer room around the time that Garrett Pierce died. But they still coordinated with Eris, who had control of Beatrice. In an extremely roundabout way, Eris admitted that Arya was used to kill Von Sanctus and Sybil. When the patron killed those two, they were able to effectively counter every magical defense they brought up. What do we already know about the patron through the first two murders? They knew Von Sanctus still needed oxygen in his force cage, and they knew Sybil could still drown if she was frozen by whole creature and affected by stone skin. The patron is experienced in using lethal magic. They're very well versed in using magic lethally.
So whoever did this had an in-depth knowledge of high-level magic.
Not only that, they came up with creative ways to bypass the defences put up by Von Sanctus and Sybil.
And yes, they had the ability to react quickly and decisively.
Things changed when they murdered Pierce. Eris implied that neither Arya nor Beatrice killed Pierce, so did the patron kill him personally? But why? They already had control of Arya. I'd imagine the entire point of enthralling her would be to hide their own involvement. Did they become impatient because Celeste was holding her ground against Arya? No, Beatrice was already able to slip past them. That's how she was able to knock you and Pierce out with a sleep spell at 2:30 p.m. If the patron was coordinating with Eris, she could have easily had Beatrice kill Pierce. Ooh, betray the patron stealthily. No. Eris had the means to murder Pierce while he was knocked out. It's strange. There's one possible explanation. The murderer wanted to kill Pierce personally. They wanted to kill Pierce personally. Does that mean Pierce's murder was more emotionally driven than the other two? It might explain why the method used to murder him was so contrived. Apparently it's right there, so what aren't you seeing? Whoever did this, they murdered Von Sanctus and Sybil, and those two were house leaders of the Four Pillars. In a way, they both represented corrupt parts of our kingdom's government. Von Sanctus essentially got away with murdering Justin Way, and Sybil clearly had an apathetic approach to remedying the corruption within the justice system. But the biggest clue you have is the one that Eris indirectly gave you. My actions that day were all for you, my dearest Tyrion. Also, I could see the despair on your face when you realized the truth. The truth? She wants you to discover it. I mean, the only one that makes sense to me is Celeste. Because that's the only one that Tyrion would be devastated by if she was guilty. At first, you thought she was trying to make you feel guilty for what happened. But if that were true, she wouldn't still be here. There's something else she wants you to realize, because it will throw you into despair somehow. Let's review everything you've deduced about whoever she made a contract with. Through the way they controlled Arya, they were creative and skilled at using magic. They must have been constantly exposed to creative uses of magic. Not to mention, they somehow personally handed a blood contract to Arya and had her sign it. About what you know, Arya was either threatened or tricked into signing that blood contract. So whoever did this must have had the strength to threaten her, or they were deeply trusted by her. In addition to that, they must have been close to the prayer room when the attack happened. And lastly, they must have had an emotional grudge against Garrett Pierce. It's got to be Celeste, unfortunately, doesn't it? She's the only one that makes sense. What? No, that's not... It's the most logical conclusion with what you know thus far. Who did Eris make a blood contract with on the day of the murder? Did we not just do this? Am I trying to find a different one? No, it can't be. That's not... Eris wanted you to make you suffer, but you can't run away from this. You owe it to Arya. No, you owe it to everyone within Wivengard to see this through. You need to follow through, no matter how painful it is. Making us do it again. Stop it. It has to be someone else. She would never. Can you think of anyone else? Who else could Eris have chosen? Who else could she have chosen that would make you feel like this? Should I say the priest this time? Maybe it was him. ... Okay, I guess we'll have to do this. Could it be Tamora? No, alright. It's got to be her then, isn't it? Damn it. Damn it! Ah! Your scream of anguish echoes throughout the ruins. Everyone is caught off guard and stares at you in confusion.
What is it?
Is everything okay, Mr. Cuthbert?
Tyrion, are you? You can feel your eyes well up as you look at her. One look at your expression tells her everything she needs to know.
There it is! You've realized it, haven't you? I've been waiting for this moment for so long.
What are you talking about? I demand an explanation.
Mr. Cuthbert, what have you discovered?
Tell them, Tyrion! Tell them who did this. Issue your divine edict right now!
You want to be wrong. You never wanted anything more in your entire life. Nothing would make you happier than having this edict fail, even if it were to cost you your life. You know the truth. Eris Ilmater, Empress of Discord.
Tyrion Cuthbert, attorney of the Arcane.
By the Eye of Horus, I issue upon you a divine edict. Release thy guards and manifest your blood contract with...
Say it! Say her name so that everyone can hear it.
Release thy guards and manifest your blood contract with... Celeste McCoy. Celeste's blood contract. With the apparent death of Tyrion Cuthbert, the Empress of Discord shall revive him, contingent upon the eternal servitude of Celeste McCoy. Ah, so that's why we came back when we did the wrong edict. Henceforth, Celeste McCoy's soul shall be eternally bound to the abyssal hells. As part of her servitude, Celeste McCoy shall engage in actions deemed necessary to secure the compliance and cooperation of Arya Steelwind in the Empress's endeavours. And lastly, it is stipulated that Celeste McCoy, of her own volition and agency, shall bring about the demise of Garrick Pierce by her own hand. Afterwards, Tyrion Cuthbert's consciousness will be restored. There it goes. I died? Tyrion, I'm sorry,
What the hell is going on?
Demon, what is the meaning of this?
It's exactly what it looks like. The patron you've been looking for has been right in front of you this entire time.
Miss McCoy, did you sign a blood contract with the Empress of Discord?
I did. It was the only thing that would save Tyrion. What? I never fought Arya. I fought Beatrice and Eris. They broke past me and ran into the prayer room. But the person they killed wasn't Pierce. It was you. Tyrion, you... She can't even bring herself to say it.
Do you realize now, Tyrion?
Stop it.
Celeste McCoy is the most important person in your life. She was the last person you had that hadn't betrayed you, and she signed away her soul to me, all so that she could save you. Why the somber look, Lucio? Weren't you going to execute the patron the moment you knew who they were?
McCoy, does this mean what I think it means?
Yes. I'm the one who tricked Arya into signing that blood contract. What? How could you? I was so stupid. When I made that deal with her, I didn't expect her to. She used that contract to make you act against your will.
So it wasn't just Miss Steelwind and Miss Frege who were controlled that day.
You realize it, don't you, Lucio? As long as the contract with the patron exists, your daughter will always be vulnerable to my influence. You can't kill me, so there's only one solution to free your daughter.
I must execute Celeste McCoy.
What?
Understand one thing, Mr. Cuthbert. After what you've done for my daughter, I have nothing but the utmost respect for you. But I will do whatever is necessary to protect her.
Lucio, we can't act rashly.
I'll let you all in on a little demonic secret. It doesn't matter if you confine her within a prison. The patron will be able to take control of Arya, no matter where she is. But if you kill her, Arya will finally be free from my control. Do it.
What? What are you saying?
I should have done this from the beginning. When I realized what happened, I should have just come forward and admitted what I did. But I kept holding on to the hope that it was all some kind of trick. I prayed and prayed for the patron to be somebody else. Tyrion, I was hoping you'd find something that would prove that all of this wasn't my fault.
You finally found the culprit you've been looking for, and it absolutely breaks your heart. That nagging feeling you've been experiencing is because you subconsciously refused to believe that she would betray you like this. Actually, it still hasn't gone away. That uneasiness is still there. Are you still in denial? No, this is different.
I suppose there's no reason to continue with us.
What?
I sympathise with your position, Cuthbert. But even McCoy recognises what must be done. It's over, and I will not allow this demon to control my daughter any longer.
You can't just...
Kingsguard, restrain him.
Wait.
Lucio,
That's enough. What kind of court is this? To everyone's surprise, Arya leaped from the platforms above and landed right on the witness stand. She forcibly pushed Eris out of the way, something that catches even her off guard.
Arya? I'm so sorry,
Celeste, you're innocent until you are proven guilty. I won't let anyone pass judgment on you until that is unequivocally proven.
But Arya, I did this.
Arya, what are you doing?
How dare you, Father?
What?
How could you possibly think that you have the right to decide who lives and who dies? If you were actually a prosecutor, I'd file for your immediate disbarment. And you, Mr. Cuthbert, how can you just stand there?
Me?
You're Celeste's attorney. Hasn't it your job to defend her until her last breath?
I
didn't see the truth because I didn't want to believe it. I almost let it slip because of my own personal feelings. I almost put you at risk. As much as it pains me to do so, I need to approach this objectively.
Tyrion.
To hell with that. What? Justice may be blind, but it's not heartless. I see it in her eyes whenever she's with you, Tyrion. You mean the world to her. She can sign her very soul to hell to protect you. If you abandon her when she needs you most, I'll never forgive you.
Tyrion,
Celeste, can you testify about what happened?
What? But...
Arya's right. We need to do this properly.
I agree. And I will not pass judgment until we have determined exactly what happened.
It's obvious he wants to be done with this as soon as possible. But even if he controls the Kingsguard, the rest of the room is clearly against him.
Fine, do as you wish. But the moment we're certain of the truth, I will do what's necessary.
Very well. Miss McCoy, please take the stand.
Celeste,
Tyrion,
can you testify about what you did that day?
Yeah.
Oh, you see that little Eris thing on her thing then as she started talking.
Truth is that Eris rewrote your memories, Tyrion. You were actually knocked out at 1:45 p.m. We went to the prayer room a lot earlier for our meeting, and that commotion we heard was actually Beatrice and Eris attacking the guards at 1:40. They tricked me and slipped into the prayer room, and Beatrice, she killed you. I didn't know what to do. That's when Eris told me she would resurrect you in exchange for killing Pierce. I know I shouldn't have done it, but I just wanted you back. I didn't care about what happened to me. I didn't realize that she'd used my eternal servitude to take control of my body. She used me to trick Arya into signing another blood contract. After that, I followed through with my end of the deal. I killed Pierce so that she would bring Tyrion back.
That nagging feeling is still there. There's something off about her testimony.
Well, on with it then. Begin your cross-examination, Cuthbert.
Gladly. Okay, let's press all these statements. She rewrote my memories.
I didn't realize it until after you woke up and gave your statement to the Inquisition. She must have changed your memories when she resurrected you.
Eris has the power to take control of people against their will, and she clearly has the power to bring people back from the dead. But if that's true, you can't even trust your own memories. Right, I suppose you didn't have control of Arya until then. Does that mean you never even fought her?
I'm sorry for lying, but I had to create an alibi.
Celeste, the Inquisition arrested her because of your testimony.
The testimonies of Prince Alaric and the High Speaker also implicated her. Miss Steelwind also already knew that she was compromised due to finding the purple mark in her pocket.
Okay.
I'm sure things would have ended the same, regardless of her testimony.
Yeah, what did Freyger and that demon do when you found them, McCoy?
How did they trick you so easily?
When I went to see what was going on, I only saw Eris and Beatrice standing over the guards' dead bodies. They acted like someone else had killed them. Then they lied to me and said that they wanted to go into the prayer room for protection. That's when Beatrice,
How did Beatrice kill me?
She hit you with some kind of necromancy spell, but it didn't visibly wound you. When I checked your body, it was already cold. Your heart was stopped.
She didn't kill me. I reckon that's feigned death.
I think she used necrotic blight.
So that's why Lord Asclepius said that I had traces of necromancy on me. She must have lied about trying to heal you as well. What did you do after I died? I'm sure that was her goal from the very beginning. She wanted you to make a deal with her. It was all so she could make me suffer.
Tyrion, I'm so...
Stop, just don't. How could you possibly think that was okay?
I knew it was wrong, but I just couldn't... I'm sorry. I didn't know what to do.
There's no sense in admonishing her now, Mr. Cuthbert. There will be plenty of time for that later.
Right, that part was written in a slightly misleading way.
She must have thought that the Empress would whisk her away to serve in hell, but instead she took control of her immediately after. You should have known better than to trust the demon.
Anyway, how did you trick Arya into signing that blood contract?
Yeah, I didn't have full control of my actions, but I remember what happened. She probably wanted me to watch what she was using me to do. I'm so sorry. I told Arya that Pierce was demanding a plea deal in exchange for telling me who my parents were. Eris made Beatrice put an illusion over the contract to make it look like a request for an appeal. And since Pierce was convicted for killing my father, she respected my wishes.
Wait, something about what she said sounds fundamentally wrong. Okay, interesting. That's not... How could you think I'd ever want that, Celeste?
I knew you wouldn't want this, but it just wasn't fair. Why should a person like him get to live instead of you? It was an easy choice.
That goes against everything I stand for.
I know, and I don't care if you hate me after this. But even now, I would still make that same choice. I don't hate...
Perhaps we should stay focused on what happened for now.
She's clearly sincere. She wouldn't intentionally lie about something like this. But why do you feel like something she said doesn't match up with the evidence you have? I'll need to examine her statements more closely. Is this the one that he was a bit sus of? I'm sure... No. Was it this one? Is it this one? Because it... So Arya knew about this.
Objection!
No. So what does her contract say? With the apparent death. That's important because I think she used feign death. It says revive, not resurrect. I think it's that. It's it.
Objection!
Oh, okay. It's definitely it though. They cast feign death on Tyrion. I don't. Yeah, let's try this one. I don't. He didn't
Objection!
die. Can I use feign death as a thing?
Objection!
It's this Phoenix Wright thing of kind of knowing what's going on, but not quite knowing what the game requires you to present.
Objection!
Something to do about the order of the deaths? When did he die? 245. He died after. Does that make sense?
Objection!
I wonder if that's something, but which statement? Is this...
Objection!
No. Yeah. I know she did feign death. Yeah, this doesn't tally up. This doesn't tally up with the timing.
Objection!
Oh, the timing is all off. Like, if we went into the room at 1:40, how could she have done that? There's all contradictions here, but none of these seem to be mattering. Like, she kind of changed everyone's memories, could she? About the timing?
Objection! Objection!
There's got to be something here. I mean, I can see loads of contradictions, but the game isn't letting me sort of enter those in. So they were counted until 2 PM, so the timing is all off. The whole thing is off. Maybe it's this statement. So Eris is accounted for at that time.
Objection!
Let's see if we can press this statement with something, with one of these timing things. Sorry, so not... Okay, so is it when we...
Objection!
Ah! This doesn't make any sense. It's everybody else.
Objection!
The timing is all wrong. Is it this because we know that she wasn't there?
Objection!
There we go. I knew it was to do with the timing. It was the right evidence with the right statement, though. Celeste, according to you, we heard a commotion at 1:40 PM. And you went out to investigate. That's when you saw Eris and Beatrice. Yeah, I lied all about my fight against Arya. Never even fought her. If that's true, how do you explain that discrepancy? You can't trust your own memories, but Leif shouldn't have been affected. The thing is, Celeste, something about your timeline doesn't match the evidence. Really? But I was pretty sure of the time. We were supposed to be at the meeting at 1:45. Wait, what did you just say? Our meeting with Pierce was scheduled for 1:45 PM, right?
What's wrong, Mr. Cuthbert?
Celeste, there's something fundamentally off about your testimony. What? But I swear I'm not lying. Your timeline of what happened is completely off. A lot of your testimony doesn't match with what we've learned thus far. Firstly, it's about the exact time you saw Eris and Beatrice. According to you, you saw them at 1:40 PM, but Leif, Miriam and Asclepius didn't lose track of them until 2 PM. What? When did they say that? What are you talking about? You were there with me when we spoke to them. I know, I was paying really close attention. I needed to see how close you were to finding me out. So why can't I remember? She can't remember?
Cuthbert, judging by what happened to you, Eris Ilmater clearly doesn't need a contract to affect people's memories. It's possible she changed the memories of Leif Freyr and her entourage.
It's not just that, Lucio. There's something else about that Celeste is clearly remembering differently that contradicts a physical piece of evidence. Something that has the timings. Yeah, the letter which says meet at 2 o'clock. Celeste, this letter from Garrett Pierce told us to meet him in the prayer room at 2 PM. What? Eris may have changed my memories, but changing a physical piece of evidence is a different thing entirely.
We don't know the full extent of her capabilities. Can we really rule that out? You were unconscious. Ilmater had plenty of time to access your body and your belongings.
At this point, anything is possible, and Eris is far too unpredictable to say for sure. But if Lucio is right, Eris could have gone around doing whatever she wanted. She could have wiped the memories of every witness who saw the crimes, and she could have manipulated the crime scenes however she wished. But if she had done so, there would have been logical inconsistencies. Until Celeste was revealed as the patron, every piece of evidence you found or deduced has been logically consistent. The contradictions in what Celeste is saying could be explained by Eris changing several elements of the crime. But there's a far simpler explanation. She didn't change our memories. I think she changed... Eris Ilmater changed the memories of Celeste. Celeste, Eris currently has your eternal servitude. If she could manipulate my memories, what's to say that she's not manipulating your memories right now?
I guess that's possible. Why would she even bother doing that?
She wouldn't need to do that unless she still had something to hide.
Are you serious? What more is there left for her to hide?
Whatever it is, it was important enough to make drastic changes to Celeste's memories. Wait, if that's true, that means Celeste's true memories will tell us exactly what we need to know.
But even if you're right, I can't remember what really happened. She has full control of my mind.
That doesn't matter, it's just like every cross-examination we've ever done. If you keep testifying, she'll keep changing your memories to tell more lies. If we keep pointing them out, we'll eventually arrive at the truth. Celeste?
It's really obnoxious how resilient you are.
What?
Why can't you all just give up already?
Eris? Is that you?
What are you? Unfortunately, your little interrogation ends here.
Kingsguard, what are you doing? Destroy Ilmater's body.
Too late, Lucio. I win.
Celeste?
Damn it.
Eris, what did you do to her?
I put her to sleep, just as I did with Beatrice.
You?
Why would you do such a thing, Ilmater?
What do you mean? I did it for the same reason I do anything. What would make Tyrion suffer more than putting his love in an eternal sleep?
If you wanted that, you would have just done that from the beginning. You're hiding something, I know it.
Damn it, we can't extract any information from her like this. The only person who can tell us what we need to know
Is Celeste.
Well, good luck getting anything out of her like this.
Ever since you discovered the truth about what she did, one possibility has been floating around your mind. But is it even possible? No, it doesn't matter if it's possible. Eris Ilmater.
What is it?
What would happen if I nullified Celeste's blood contract?
Assuming there's anything to even dispute, everything granted by the contract would be reversed. And I don't think you fully understand what that means.
Lucio?
Oh, what is it?
Your men know where Ruby Tamora's law office is, right?
Aye, they do. Where are you going with us?
You'll need an attorney to cross-examine Celeste's testimony. She owes me, and she'll be able to finish this on my behalf.
Wait.
And tell her, I'm sorry I couldn't keep my promise.
You're not serious, are you? I am one of the eldest evils that's ever lived. I would never create a faulty contract.
Eris Ilmater, Empress of Discord.
Wait, you know I can't speak lies, correct?
By the Eye of Horus, I demand the opportunity to dispute Celeste McCoy's blood contract.
I'll state it plainly then, there will be no room for doubt.
Celeste McCoy's contract was written without flaw. I don't care.
What?
Celeste sacrificed her life to save mine. How could I ever face her again if I didn't do the same for her?
You're insane. You're just risking death for nothing.
Why are you so nervous?
Maybe this is pointless, but I will never stop fighting for her.
Stop this.
I can't help myself. I'm only human after all. Oh, once you pass this point, you will not be able to save your game for a while. It's recommended that you make a save file now. Okay. Do that there. And just check the time as well. Oh, hello. Court of Azathoth. Okay. We'll find out more about what that entails next time, I think. So we'll leave that there for now. So thanks very much for watching this episode of Tyrion Cuthbert. Hope you've enjoyed it. And if you have, if you could hit that thumbs up button, that'd be very much appreciated. Be sure to leave me a comment as well. Let me know what you think of the game so far. There aren't really any more sort of mysteries at this point, I suppose. But, you know, let me know what you thought about the game and the story and how it's all gone. And if you're watching this and haven't yet subscribed to the channel, it'd be amazing if you could do so. So thanks very much, and I hope to see you next time for the finale of Tyrion Cuthbert. Attorney of the Arcane. Bye for now.